This channeled tarot and oracle card reading is going to be tapping into the energies of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So Celeste Rivas Hernandez was a missing girl who went missing on April 5th, 2004 from Lake Elsinore, California, where she lived. All right, so this girl went missing over a year ago in April of 2024. Now, she was born on September 7th, 2010. Now, this girl, this young lady who's been missing for over a year, was recently found. Her body was found in a Tesla that was abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. And this car was actually impounded, towed off to the impound lot in Hollywood. And they finally searched the car on September 8th, 2025, due to a foul odor coming from the vehicle. And that is when they found the body of this missing young lady. Now, many news sources are saying she was 15 years old, but that's just not so. She was 14 years old when her body was placed in that trunk because the car was in an impound lot since September 5th. And if her birthday to turn 15 would have been September 7th, the day before she was found, then that means that Celeste Rivas Hernandez never actually made it to her 15th birthday. And that means that she was only 13 years old when she went missing and 14 years old when she was unfortunately found in the front trunk of this Tesla. Now, the other interesting thing is that the Tesla is owned by someone in the music industry by the name of David Anthony Burke. And his stage name, I guess you would say, is David, but it's D4VD. He's 20 years old. All right, so just to kind of give you a rundown of this, I'm going to share a little bit from this article from people.com. It says, according to KABC TV, authorities said that the body was found in the Tesla's front trunk and had been wrapped inside a bag. The outlet also reported that the car is registered in Hempstead, Texas, to David, who's 20, whose real name is David Anthony Burke. Officers responded to the scene after receiving a report of a foul odor from what appeared to be human remains coming from the vehicle. According to Fox 11 Los Angeles, authorities believe the body was put in the trunk about 5 days before it was towed to the impound lot. The car was reported abandoned in the Hollywood Hills, and the neighbors told NBC Los Angeles that the car was there for about a month. A rep for the singer, who is currently on tour and has earned acclaim for hits like Here With Me and Romantic Homicide, previously told the outlet he had been informed about what's happened and is fully cooperating with authorities. Now, at this present time, police have not named any suspects or filed any charges in this case. Now, another thing that actually ties this victim with David is that they both have the same tattoo, written on their right index finger. So there is definitely a connection between this singer, entertainer David and the victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And again, she had been missing since she was 13 years old, and she was found dead in David's Tesla at the age of 14. And David himself is 20 years old. All right, so that's kind of the backstory. In some way, it is my belief that this David person was grooming Celeste for some type of ritual, possibly. And I also have this feeling that, he was taking advantage of her innocence, her youth, her ignorance, really. And it's very unfortunate. So I just want to, open myself up as a channel for the energy of Celeste Rivas Hernandez to come through. I want to pull up her picture over here for myself so that way I can gaze at her image when necessary. There we go. All right. So I'm going to light this candle in honor of the energy of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And while this candle is lit, I am opening myself up as a channel for the energy of Celeste Rivas Hernandez to come through and to tell us what happened to her that led to her ending up in this Tesla trunk. All right. So I ask that the highest vibrations of light and love connect to my highest self and release all previous programming and unwanted energies. And I ask that the energy of Celeste Rivas Hernandez let me be a channel for her energy to come through while this candle is lit, so that I can be the voice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and get started with the murder mystery deck. This is clearly a homicide. So I'm going to do my normal thing. I'm going to shuffle 3 times, cut the deck, and draw 1 card regarding what happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And then I'm going to repeat that process for all 3 cards. Money may be involved. Definitely. There's usually money involved in these things with minors and... Okay, let's get the next one. Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing this case. Contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing this case. Wow. So, money, evidence contamination. Interesting. All right, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. A closer observation of the victim's living space may provide clues. The unfortunate thing about this is that she was missing for a year. So no one really knows where she was living, but I do believe that it's a possibility she was with this David person. So a closer observation of that living space would probably be beneficial. And like that article stated, the police have been searching a home he was staying at about a block or block and a half from where the Tesla was found. All right, so now I'm just going to use the Deviant Moon Tarot deck. And with this deck, I want to get the energy between this David person and the victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right, Celeste, what was the energy between you and David? We have this Ace of Cups. This is the dark moon. The figure on this particular image is the dark moon. And look at this moonbeam also coming down into the cup she's staring in. So I definitely feel like there was some kind of very secretive thing going on emotionally. And the feeling I'm getting from this right off the bat with this imagery is that she, the female, like in the image, didn't even know, but emotionally she was being groomed for something in some way, obviously. We have the 9 of Swords. So definitely some type of anxiety, okay, there's like a little gremlin on this person's shoulder. I feel like there's a lot of weird energy here when it comes to the thinking. This, like, the image is of this person who's like biting their finger, which, by the way, the same finger they both have the tattoo on, right? The shh finger. And the little thing on the shoulder, that looks like a little demon to me. So I think in many ways, her thoughts and emotions have been manipulated, okay? Manipulated outside of herself because of this image here. And it's caused a lot of fear and anxiety in some ways as well. But also, I just noticed that the blanket she's covered in has the crescent moons all over it. So again, it's that imagery of the moon and of mystery and secretiveness with the cat lying on it as well. So I do feel like there's this habitual, it's like this habitual feeding of thoughts, even unconscious to her, but conscious to someone or some entity, like this little demon on her shoulder, basically filling her head with certain thoughts. All right, and then we have the Empress. So, oh wow, you guys. I feel like this David person made her feel like the queen, made her feel like she was everything. But look at the, ew. Okay. This imagery is so dark. But what I see is, okay, she has multiple breasts coming out in this image, right? And I feel like it's because people were siphoning energy from her, but yet making her feel like she was important at the same time. Very important. But in some way, she's been being, I'm still seeing in this image this evilness almost that's being covered. Because look, under the cape is like these weird scales or something. And this tail that's coming out and it's intertwining with her arm, turning into a flower. So I feel like they make her feel good, even though what they're doing to her is bad. Does that make sense? And I feel like while she thought she had freedom, she was actually in their control. I don't know why I keep saying their control. There could be more than one person involved here, but this is the energy between her and David, okay? So in his control, he was making her feel like the Empress and making her fearful at the same time and afraid. And it was all in a way to kind of groom her or secretly manipulate her emotions and all of that, to make her feel like what was happening was good. Because look at how she's embracing this cup with the moonbeam coming down. She's gazing lovingly into the cup. All right. Okay. Celeste, let's go ahead and get started. Actually, I wanted to grab this one first. This is a very big deck. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of shuffle them a little bit. But then I cut it into 3 parts. So that way, you know, it's easier to manage. So I just want to shuffle these into 3 piles really quickly here. All right. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, tell us what happened to you. Why did this David person groom you in this way? What was this about? What happened to you? Hold on, the brush fell off. Let's... The two that just flew out were accident and 5G. I think it was an accident that she met him and some kind of network, because in the image here it looks like a network. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like little dots with lines connecting the dots. Okay, I think originally when they met, it was seemingly an accidental meeting. That's kind of what I'm getting from those two. And with the 5G, it was likely online through some kind of network of people. All right, Celeste, what happened to you? Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us the story. Anger. Oh, this just fell off. Outer space. Ooh. Okay, so with that... Oh, wait, there's a flipped one. Thief. Oh, my gosh. And serial killer. Okay. These just kept falling off as I was... Anyway, we got first two that came out were the anger and outer space. And with that outer space card, I feel like in many ways, there was a misplaced anger that happened here. And then we have thief and serial killer. This, whatever happened to Celeste has happened to other people. All right? And with that thief card coming up right after the outer space and anger, there could be some anger towards this energy of like maybe someone trying to steal her away. Steal her away. All right, let's see what else comes out though. All right, Celeste, tell us more. All right, there are lots of missing pieces to this. She was also a missing girl. But there's missing pieces to this story. Whoa. Underwater came next. And the image in the underwater is that it's in this dark, it's deep underwater, right? So the missing pieces are things that are hidden under the surface. There are definitely missing pieces that are hidden. Whoa, that was way too many. I only take them if 5 or less fall out. So let's go to the next. All right, Celeste, what else can you tell us about what happened to you? What happened to you, Celeste? Accomplice, partner in crime. So, like I said earlier, there was likely more than one person involved here in this. Likely more than one person knows what happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. We also got the travel card. and justice. Okay? You guys, I just talked about this before we did this. There is an accomplice involved. He says he was traveling. He was on world tour at the time, David was, right? So there was someone else involved. So if David's off the hook, it's because he says he's traveling this world tour, right? But that doesn't mean that there's not someone else involved. And that he knew what was taking place. It's weird. I just thought of, never mind, I don't even want to say it. That girl, I think her name was Ashley. And she died right before going on a date with Ashton Kutcher. And Ashton Kutcher actually saw the blood on her floor. For some reason, I saw an image of that. I don't know why. Interesting. But, okay. So I think what it's trying to tell me, because I just heard this too, is that, yeah, they have an alibi why it wasn't them. So they get off the hook, right? They get the justice. But it's because they have someone else doing something for them, right? But why? Why even do it? Why even do it? Take another. We have the fraud. It has monopoly money on it. Oh my gosh, you guys. That Bible verse from Amos was talking about these, like, fruitless rituals, basically, and how they do these things. It's a fraud. It's a fraud way to get value. It's a crooked way to get value. Maybe that's why we got thief and serial killer. All right, you guys, I'm getting this vibe that what happened to Celeste was about stealing her essence as a fraudulent way of adding value to the self. Does that make sense? Because that's what happens when people are a thief. They're taking from one in hopes for their own personal gain, selfish gain, right? So this thief is doing this work of taking the life of people thinking that they're actually adding value to themselves in some way, but it's only demonic value. It's not true value, right? Wow. Yeah. We also got this card, perversion with witness. I think that there are many witnesses to the perversion that was taking place between this David character and Celeste Rivas Hernandez. There are witnesses. People have seen what is taking place and the perversions. And I say perversions for sure because she was a child. Again, no matter what the news says about her being 15, it's not true. She was 14 when she died. She was a child. We got devil, treason, paranormal, and control. Again, oh, you guys, this is confirmation to me that after witness and perversion as well, there's also accomplices, you guys. And remember what I was just saying about the fraud card, right? Okay. These people in a lot of times in the music industry, they're full of little devils, by the way. And with this treason card, it's like, once you're part of this group, you can't go against it at all. And if you do, you're dead, right? But with this paranormal and control, this is like a weird, they control people. It's a weird way of grooming people to be more aligned with these demonic things that they're doing. You guys, there's only so much I can say here or whatever, but I think that if you're still here watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. Demonic rituals for control, mind control. You can't go against them once you're in because then it's treason, right? So they use these rituals as a way to control them. And it's a spiritual thing. That's why we get the paranormal card. It's a thing of spirit. What else can you tell Celeste? All right, Celeste, what happened to you? Is there anything else? If there's nothing else, we could be done right now. My dogs are barking. You guys, crimes against humanity and fired. Let me pause this. Okay, someone just got home and my dog was a little excited. But those last two cards were crimes against humanity and fired. You remember what Isaac Cappy said about being fired. It's exactly what I was saying about these cards. If you don't play along with their devilish games, you are fired. But unlike being fired from a normal job and just being able to walk away with your life, you are fired from being alive in this industry. All right? They're actually committing crimes against humanity. Again, I believe that this is like, somehow these rituals, they think, are feeding into the mind control over the masses. Spiritually speaking, right? Now, the more aligned with this that the people in the music industry, for instance, and even Hollywood in a lot of instances, maybe not in all instances, but in many, the more that the people can align with the darkness, and the more that they can get them aligned with that, the less likely they will be to stray from this evilness. Oh my gosh. So all in all, it was an accident that they met, but they met through some type of network of people online. And now there are missing pieces to her story, things that have been kept hidden under the surface of this. And I think that there will be things that continue to stay under the surface as well, obviously, because look at what we're talking about in the end. We got anger and outer space. Now, some of this could have to do with anger, anger over a certain way of being, anger over maybe she wanted to go home. Maybe something along those lines, right? But then we also have thief and serial killer. This person, whoever did this to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, has done this before, and it's a way of stealing from the victim. It's a form of stealing that they think is giving them value in some way, but it's not. All right? Now, there are witnesses to the perversions that took place against Celeste, possibly by this David person or people tied to them. Part of me is wondering, is David the one, or is he just the one that was reeling her in? The one who acts as the boyfriend. The one who gets her to let down her guard around these evil, evil people, right? Is he the, like Isaac Cappy would say, the relationship that kept her in control, right? But there were definitely some type of accomplice, possibly someone doing it while he was even gone, giving him an alibi, something to get away with, similar to Ashton Kutcher, allegedly. Well, Ashton Kutcher wasn't, you know, like he was, let's just not talk about that. All right, so we got the devil and treason because, yeah, this is all like ritualistic with that devil showing up. And we also got the paranormal card because they are doing these rituals, spiritual rituals, but that are aligned with the lower self. So they're going to be aligned with greed, with lust, with gluttony, all of that. All right. And so, yeah, it's all just a way of controlling the masses. Because it's a crime against, this kind of mind control is a crime against humanity. Now, I think it goes even deeper. Think of like even this David guy. He's like well known for a song called Romantic Homicide. And I looked at the video of this song because I never heard of it. But there's imagery of this, of just blood and knives, and it's horrible. And this is mass mind control. The music industry in Hollywood have been basically committing crimes against humanity when it comes to the mind and mind control, keeping people in the lower vibration. Now, especially, I think it is especially prevalent, and I'm sorry to say this if you're a fan, but it is extremely prevalent in like the rap and hip hop culture. This mind control, crime against humanity, bringing people down into the lower nature so that they don't know their spirit and their power. All right. It's that hip hop nature or hip hop rap culture that made Celeste believe that this was a cool lifestyle. So it's like infiltrating the youth with this. All right. Definitely a crime against humanity. It is a perversion on a mass scale as well. Now, again, we're all witness to this perversion. We are witness to it through the music, through the imagery in the videos, through, the low vibration, actual sounds and words. So yeah, let's go back to the beginning too, before I end it. We got the Ace of Cups. She was definitely being controlled secretly. This whole image is of the dark moon. So she doesn't even see how she's being manipulated by this secret group. But it's a huge cause of anxiety, but it's like a continual habitual pattern that's fed one sword after the next, right? First it's aimed away from her, then it's towards her, away from her, towards her. There's a little devil on her shoulder, all right? Now, with this mind control, this belief then that things are good, that she's in love, that this is fun. She thinks that she's free, but really she's not, because of what they've created in her with this mind control, all right, through her emotions and her thoughts and repetition. It's a repetition to get her controlled. So I do believe that for the past year, something was happening with Celeste Rivas Hernandez that she thought was a good thing. She thought, this is fun, this is nice, I like this. But all in all, in the end, it was like definitely taking away her innocence. And multiple people were involved. Remember, we also got an accomplice, partner in crime. Now, money could have been involved in exchange of money. Not just for what happened to Celeste, but what had taken place with Celeste while she was here, but yet while she was missing from her family. That's what I'm feeling. Contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing the case because who knows what happened to her before she was placed in that car. And who knows in the days after what had happened and what they did with things. But there's some type of tampering with the DNA evidence. All right. And of course, we got that closer observation in the living space might give clues. Now, those clues could be the DNA evidence that could be collected, but who knows what's going to happen to that evidence once it's collected, if you know what I mean. All right. I think I'm done for now. Something horrible has happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Everyone, please take a moment and say a loving prayer in honor of the minor victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who was groomed and mind controlled to go along with something that was not good for her. Send her soul loving prayers. And now it's time for me to close myself off as a channel and send Celeste Rivas Hernandez back to the energy from where she came. So, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, I'm going to blow out this candle and I will no longer be a channel for your energy to come through. Thank you so much for being here and for telling us some of your story. And now, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, you can go back to the energy from where you came. Thank you so much for being here. I love you.